Hi Marcella, it's me, your favorite 50 Shades of Grey reader. Again, I have nothing interesting to say other than thanks for having me over last night. Your mother-in-law is really nice and she's a great cook. And I hope that you have a great day at work and you have a pleasant drive on the way home and have a great evening. Sorry I'm not that exciting today, but hopefully this chapter will be exciting for you. We finally do get Layla in this chapter, but it's on the last page, and it's a good last page, and then the drama will ensue. So here we are, chapter 12, 50 Shades of Grey, book 2. Did you talk to her today? I asked Christian as we wait for Mrs. Robinson's arrival. Yes. What did she say? I said that you don't want to see her, and that I understand your reasons why. I also told her that I didn't appreciate her going behind my back. His gaze is impassive, giving nothing away. Oh, good. What did she say? She brushed it off in a way that only Elena can do. His mouth flattens to a crooked line. Why do you think she's here? I have no idea, Christian shrugs. Taylor enters the great room. Again. Mrs. Lincoln, he announces. And here she is. Why is she so damned attractive? She dressed entirely in black, tight jeans, a shirt that emphasizes her perfect figure, and a halo of bright, glossy hair. Christian pulls me close. Elena, he says, his tone puzzled. She gapes at me in shock, frozen to the spot. She blinks before finding her soft voice. I'm sorry. I didn't realize you had company, Christian. It's Monday. She says that this explains why she's here. Girlfriend, he says, by way of explanation, and tilts his head to one side and gives me a cool smile. The slow, beaming smile, directed entirely at him, spreads across her face. It's unnerving. Of course. Hello, Anastasia. I didn't know you'd be here. I know you don't want to talk to me. I accept that. Do you? I assert quietly, gazing at her and taking all of us by surprise. With a slight frown, she moves farther into the room. Yes, I get the message. I'm not here to see you. Like I said, Christian rarely has company during the week. She pauses. I have a problem, and I need to talk to Christian about it. Oh? Christian straightens up. Do you want a drink? Yes, please, she murmurs gratefully. Christian fetches a glass, while Elena and I stand awkwardly gazing at each other. She fidgets with a large silver ring on her middle finger. While I don't look where I don't know where to look, finally she gives me a small, tight smile and approaches the kitchen island and sits on the bar stool at the end. She obviously knows the place well and feels comfortable moving around here. Do I stay? Do I go? Oh, this is so difficult. My subconscious scowls at the woman with her most hostile, harpy face. There's so much I want to say to this woman, and none of it complimentary. But she's Christian's friend, his only friend, and for all my loathing of this woman, I'm innately polite. Deciding to sit, I sit as gracefully as I can manage on the stools Christian has vacated. Christian pours wine in each of our glasses and sits between us on the breakfast bar. Can't he feel how weird this is? What's up? He asks her. Elena looks nervously at me, and Christian reaches over and clasps my hand. Anastasia's with me now, he says to her silent query, and squeezes my hand. I flush, and my subconscious beams at him, harpy face forgotten. Elena's face softens, as if she's pleased for him. Really pleased for him. Oh, I don't understand this woman at all. I'm uncomfortable and edgy in her presence. She takes a deep breath and shifts perching on the edge of the bar stool, looking agitated. She glances nervously down at her hands and starts manically twisting the large silver ring around and around her middle finger. What's wrong with her? Is it my presence? Do I have that effect on her? Because I feel the same way. I don't want her here. She raises her head and looks Christian squarely in the eyes. I'm being blackmailed. Holy shit. Not what I expected out of her mouth. Christian stiffens. Has someone found out about her penchant for beating and fucking underage boys? I suppress my revulsion, and a fleeting thought about chickens coming home to roost crosses my mind. My subconscious rubs her hands together with ill-disguised glee. Good. How? Christian asks, his horror clear in his voice. She reaches into her oversized patent leather designer purse, pulls out a note, and hands it to him. Put it down. Lay it out. Christian points to the breakfast bar counter with his chin. You don't want to touch it. You don't want to touch it? No fingerprints. Christian, you know I can't go to the police with this. Why am I listening to this? Is she fucking some other poor boy? She lays the note out for him, and he bends to read it. They're only asking for $5,000, he says almost absent-mindedly. Any idea who it might be? Someone in the community? No, she says in a soft, sweet voice. Link? Link? Who's that? What? After all this time? I don't think so, she grumbles. Does Isaac know? I haven't told him. Who's Isaac? I think he needs to know, Christian says. She shakes her head, and now I feel I'm intruding. I want none of this. I try to retrieve my hand from Christian's grasp, but he just tightens his hold and turns to gaze at me. What? He asks. I'm tired. I think I'll go to bed. His eyes search mine, looking for what? For what? Censure? Acceptance? Hostility? I keep my expression as bland as possible. Okay, he says. I won't be long. He releases me, and I stand. Elena watches me warily. I stay tight-lipped and return her gaze, giving nothing away. Good night, Anastasia. She gives me a small smile. Good night. I met her. My voice sounds cold. I turn to leave. The tension is too much for me to bear. As I exit the room, they continue their conversation. I don't think there's a great deal I can do, Elena, Christian says to her. If it's a question of money... His voice trails off. I could ask Welch to investigate. No, Christian. I just wanted to share, she says. When I'm out of the room, I hear her say, You look very happy. I am, Christian responds. You deserve to be. I wish that were true. Christian, she scolds. I freeze, listening intently. I can't help it. Does she know how negative you are about yourself, about all your issues? She knows me better than anyone. Ouch, that hurts. It's the truth, Elena. I don't have to play games with her, and I mean it. Leave her alone. What is her problem? You. What we were. What we did. She doesn't understand. Make her understand. It's in the past, Elena, and why would I want to taint her with our fucked-up relationship? She's good, and sweet, and innocent, and by some miracle, she loves me. It's no miracle, Christian, Elena scoffs good-naturedly. Have a little faith in yourself. You really are quite a catch. I've told you often enough, and she seems lovely, too. Strong. Someone needs to stand up to you. I can't hear Christian's response. So I'm strong, am I? I certainly don't feel that way. Don't you miss it? Elena continues. What? Your playroom. I stop breathing. This is really none of your fucking business, Christian snaps. Oh, I'm sorry, Elena snorts insincerely. I think you better go, and please call me before you come again. Christian, I'm sorry, she says, and her tone, this time she means it. Since when are you so sensitive? She's scolding him again. Elena, we have a business relationship that has profited us both immensely. Let's keep it that way. What was between us is part of my past. Anastasia is my future, and I won't jeopardize it in any way, so cut the fucking crap. His future? I see. Look, I'm sorry for your trouble. Perhaps you should write it out and call her bluff. His tone is softer. I don't want to lose you, Christian. I'm not yours to lose, Elena, he snaps again. That's not what I meant. What did you mean? He's brusque and angry. Look, I don't want to argue with you. Your friendship means a lot to me. I'll back up from Anastasia, but I'm here if you need me. I always will be. Anastasia thinks you saw me last Saturday. You called, that's all. Why did you tell her otherwise? I wanted her to know how upset you were when she left. I don't want her to hurt you. She knows. I've told her. She knows. I've told her. Stop interfering. Honestly, you're like a mother hen. Christian sounds more resigned, and Elena laughs. But there's a sad tone to her laugh. I know. I'm sorry. You know I care about you. I never thought you'd end up falling in love, Christian. It's very gratifying to see. But I couldn't bear it if she hurt you. I'll take my chances, he says dryly. Now, are you sure you don't want Welch to sniff around? She sighs heavily. I suppose it wouldn't do any harm. Okay, I'll call him in the morning. I'll listen to them bickering, trying to figure this out. They do sound like old friends, as Christian says. Just friends. And she cares about him. Maybe too much. Well, anybody who knew him would care. Thank you, Christian, and I'm sorry I didn't mean to intrude. I'll go. Next time I'll call. Good. She's going. Shit. I scamper up the hallway to Christian's bedroom and sit down on the bed. Christian enters a few moments later. She's gone, he says warily, gauging my reaction. I gaze up at him, trying to frame my question. Will you tell me all about her? I'm trying to understand why you think she's helped you. I pause, thinking carefully about my next sentence. I loathe her, Christian. I think she did untold damage. You have no friends. Did she keep them away from you? He sighs and runs his hand through his hair. Why the fuck do you want to know about her? We had a very long-standing affair. She beat the shit out of me, often. And I fucked her in all sorts of ways you can't even imagine. End of story. I pale. Shit, he's angry with me. I blink at him. Why are you so angry? Because all of this shit is over, he shouts, glaring at me. He sighs in exasperation and shakes his head. I glance. Shit! I look down at my hands, nodded in my lap. I just want to understand. He sits down beside me. Why do you want to know? He asks wearily. You don't have to tell me. I don't mean to intrude. Anastasia, it's not that. I don't like talking about this shit. I've lived in a bubble for years, with nothing affecting me, and not having to justify myself to anyone. She's always been there as a confidant, and now my past and my future are colliding in a way I never thought possible. I glance at him, and he's staring at me, his eyes wide. I never thought I had a future with anyone, Anastasia. You give me hope, and have me thinking about all sorts of possibilities. He drifts off. I was listening, I whisper and stare back down at his hands. What? To our conversation? Yes. Well, he sounds resigned. She cares for you. Yes, she does, and I for her in my own way. But it doesn't come close to how I feel about you, if that's what this is about. I'm not jealous. I'm wounded that he would think that. Or am I? Shit. Maybe that's what it is. You don't love her, I murmured. He sighs. He is really pissed. A long time ago, I thought I loved her, he says through gritted teeth. Oh, when we were in Georgia, you just didn't love her? That's right. I frown. I loved you then, Anastasia, he whispers. You're the only person I'd fly 3,000 miles to see. Oh my, I don't understand. He still wanted me as a sub then. My frown deepens. The feelings I have for you are very different from any I've ever had for Elena, he says by way of explanation. When did you know? He shrugs. Ironically, it was Elena who pointed it out to me. She encouraged me to go to Georgia. I knew it. I knew it in Savannah. I gaze at him, blinking. What do I make of all this? Maybe she is on my side and just worried that I'll hurt him. The thought is painful. I would never want to hurt him. She's right. He's been hurt enough. Perhaps she's not so bad. I shake my head. I don't want to accept his relationship with her. I disapprove. Yes, that's what it is. She's an unsavory character who preyed on a vulnerable adolescent, robbing him of his teenage years, no matter what he says. So you desired her when you were younger? Yes. Oh. She taught me a great deal. She taught me how to believe in myself. Oh, but she also beat the shit out of you. He smiles fondly. Yes, she did. And you liked that? At the time I did. So much you wanted to do it to others? His eyes grow wide and serious. Yes. Did she help you with that? Yes. Did she sub for you? Yes. Holy fuck. Do you expect me to like her? My voice sounds brittle and bitter. No, though it would make my life a lot easier, he says wearily. I do understand your reticence. Reticence? Geez, Christian. If that were your son, how would you feel? He blinks at me, though he doesn't comprehend the question. He frowns. I didn't have to stay with her. It was my choice, too, Anastasia, he murmurs. This is getting me nowhere. Who's Link? Her ex-husband, Link Timber. The very same, he smirks. And Isaac? Her current submissive? Oh, no. He's in his mid-20s, Anastasia. You know, a consenting adult, he adds quickly, correctly deciphering my look of disgust. Your age, I mutter. Look, Anastasia, as I said to her, she's part of my past. You are my future. Don't let her come between us, please. And quite frankly, I'm really bored of the subject. I'm going to do some work. He stands and gazes down at me. Let it go. Please. I stare mulishly up at him. Oh, I almost forgot, he adds. Your car arrived today. It's in the garage. Taylor has the key. Whoa, the Saab? Can I drive it tomorrow? No. Why not? You know why not. And that reminds me, if you're going to leave the office, let me know. Sawyer was there watching you. It seems I can't trust you to look after yourself at all. He scowls, making me feel like an errant child again. And I would argue with him, but he's pretty worked up over Elena, and I don't want to push him any further. But I can't resist one comment. Seems I can't trust you either, I mutter. You could have told me Sawyer was watching me. Do you want to fight about that too? He snaps. I wasn't aware we were fighting. I thought we were communicating, I mumbled petulantly. He closes his eyes briefly as he struggles to contain his temper. I swallow and watch anxiously. This could go either way. I have to work, he says quietly, and with that he leaves the room. I exhale. I hadn't realized I'd been holding my breath. I flop back onto the bed, staring at the ceiling. Can we ever have a normal conversation without it disintegrating into an argument? It's exhausting. We just don't know each other that well. Do I really want to move in with him? I don't even know if I should make him a cup of tea or coffee while he's working. Should I disturb him at all? I have no idea what he likes and dislikes. Evidently, he's bored with the whole Elena thing. He's right. I need to move on. Let it go. Well, at least he's not expecting me to be friends with her, and I hope that she'll now stop hassling me for our meeting. I get off the bed and wander to the window. Unlocking the balcony door, I open it and stroll over to the glass railing. Its transparency is unnerving. The air is chilly and fresh, as I'm so high. I gaze out over the twinkling lights of Seattle. He's so far removed from everything, up here in his fortress, answerable to no one. He just told me he loves me. Then all this crap comes up between us because of that dreadful woman. I roll my eyes. His life is so complicated. He's so complicated. With a heavy sigh and a last glance at Seattle, Seattle spread like cloths of gold at my feet, I decide to call Ray. I haven't spoken to him for a while. It's a brief conversation, as usual, but I ascertain he's fine, and I'm interrupting an important soccer match. "Hope all is well with Christian," he says casually, and I know he's fishing for information, but he doesn't really want to know. "Yeah, we're cool, sort of. I'm moving in with him, though we haven't discussed a timetable." "Love you, Dad." "Love you too, Annie." I'll hang up and check my watch. It's only 10. Because of our discussion, I'm feeling strangely enervated and restless. I shower quickly and back in the bedroom decide to wear one of the night dresses that Caroline Action procured for me from Neiman Marcus. Christian's always moaning about my t-shirts. There are 3. I choose the pale pink and put it over my head. The fabric skims across my skin and caressing and clinging to me as it falls around my body. It feels luxurious. The finest, thinnest satin. Whoa. In the mirror, I look like a 1930s movie star. It's long, elegant, and very un-me. I grab the matching robe and decide to hunt out a book in the library. I could read off my iPad, but right now I want the comfort and reassurance of a physical book. I'll leave Christian alone. Perhaps he'll recover his good humor once he's finished working. There are so many books in Christian's library. Scanning every title will take forever. I glance occasionally at the billiard table and flush as I recall our previous evening. I smile when I see the ruler still on the floor. Picking it up, I swap my palm. Ow, it stings. Why can't I take a little more pain from my man? I place it on the desk and continue my hunt for a good book. Most of the books are first editions. How could he have amassed such a collection in such a short time? Perhaps Taylor's job description includes book buying. I settle on Rebecca by Daphne du Maurier. I haven't read this for a long time. I smile as I curl up in one of the overstuffed chairs and read the first line. "Last night, I dreamt I went to Mandalay. Again." I'm jostled awake as Christian lifts me in his arms. "Hey," he murmurs, "you fell asleep. I couldn't find you." He nuzzles my hair sleepily. I put my arms around his neck and breathe in his scent. Oh, he smells so good. As he carries me back to the bedroom, he lays me down on the bed and covers me. "Sleep, baby," he whispers, and he presses his lips against my forehead. I wake suddenly from a disturbing dream, and I'm momentarily disoriented. I find myself anxiously checking the end of the bed, but there's no one there. Drifting from the great room, I hear the faint strains of some complex melody from the piano. What time is it? I check the alarm clock. 2 a.m. Has Christian come to sleep at all? I disentangle my legs from my robe, which I'm still wearing, and clamber out of bed. In the great room, I stand in the shadows listening. Christian is lost in his music. He looks safe and secure in his bubble of light, and the tune he plays has a lilting melody, parts of which sound familiar, but so elaborate. He's so good. Why does this always take me by surprise? The whole scene looks different somehow, and I realize that the piano lid is down, giving me an unhindered view. He glances up, and our eyes lock. His gray and softly luminous in the diffused glow of the lamp. He continues to play, not faltering at all, as I make my way over to him. His eyes follow me, drinking me in, burning brighter. As I reach him, he stops. "Why did you stop? That was lovely." "Do you have any idea how desirable you look at this moment?" he says, his voice soft. "Oh, come to bed," I whisper, and his eyes heat as he holds my hand. When I take it, he tugs unexpectedly, so I fall into his lap. He wraps his arms around me and nuzzles my neck behind my ear, sending shivers down my spine. "Why do we fight?" he whispers as his teeth graze my earlobe. My heart skips a beat, then starts pounding, coursing heat throughout my body. "Because we're getting to know each other, and you're stubborn, and cantankerous, and moody, and difficult," I murmur breathlessly, shifting my head to give him better access to my throat. He runs his nose down my neck, and I feel his smile. "I'm all those things, Miss Steele. It's a wonder you put up with me." He nips my earlobe, and I moan. "Is it always like this?" he sighs. "I have no idea." "Me neither." He yanks the sash on my robe so it falls open, and his hand skims down my body over my breast. My nipples harden beneath his gentle touch and strain against the satin. He continues down to my waist, down to my hip. "You feel so fine under this material, and I can see everything, even this." He tugs gently on my pubic hair through the fabric, making me gasp, while his other hand fists in my hair at my nape. Pulling my head back, he kisses me, his tongue urgent, relentless, needy. I moan in response and caress his dear, dear face. His hand gently pulls up my nightdress, up slowly, tantalizing till he's fondling my naked behind, and then running his thumbnail down the inside of my thigh. Suddenly he rises, startling me, and he lifts me onto the piano. My feet rest on the keys, sounding discordant, disjointed notes, and his hands skim up my legs and part my knees. He grabs my hands. "Lie back," he orders, holding my hands while I sink back on top of the piano. The lid is hard and uncompromising against my back. He lets go and pushes my legs open wider. My feet dancing over the keys, over the lower and higher notes. Oh boy. I know what he's going to do, and the anticipation. I groan loudly as he kisses the inside of my knee, then kisses and sucks and nips his way higher, up my left thigh. The soft satin of my nightgown rises higher, skimming over my sensitized skin as he pushes the fabric. I flex my feet, and the chords sound again. Closing my eyes, I surrender myself to him, and his mouth reaches the apex of my thighs. He kisses me there, oh boy, then gently blows before his tongue circles my clitoris. He pushes my legs wider. I feel so open, so exposed. He holds me in place, his hands just above my knees as his tongue tortures me, giving me no quarter, no respite, no reprieve. Tilting my hips up, meeting and matching his rhythm, I am consumed. Oh, Christian, please, I moan. Oh, no, baby, not yet, he teases. But I feel myself quicken as he does, and he stops. No, I whimper. This is my revenge, Anna, he growls softly. Argue with me, and I'm going to take it out in your body somehow. His trails kisses along my belly, his hands traveling up my thighs, stroking, kneading, tantalizing. His tongue circles my navel as his hands and his thumbs, oh, his thumbs, reach the summit of my thighs. Ah, I cry as he pushes one inside me. The other one persecutes me slowly, agonizingly, circling around and around. My back arches off the piano, so I writhe beneath his touch. It's almost unbearable. Christian, I cry, spiraling out of control with need. He takes pity on me and stops. Lifting my feet off the keys, he pushes me, and suddenly I'm sliding effortlessly up the piano, gliding on satin, and he's following me up there, briefly kneeling between my legs to roll on a condom. He hovers over me, and I'm panting, gazing up at him with rage and need. And I realize he's naked. When did he take his clothes off? He stares down at me, and there's wonder in his eyes, wonder and love and passion, and it's breathtaking. I want you so badly, he says, and very slowly, exquisitely, he sinks into me. I am sprawled on top of him, wrung out, my limbs heavy and languid as we lie on top of his grand piano. Oh my. He's much more comfortable to lie on than the piano. Careful not to touch his chest, I rest my cheek against him and keep perfectly still. He doesn't object, and I listen to his breathing as it slows like mine. Gently he strokes my hair. Do you drink coffee or tea in the morning? I ask sheepishly. What a strange question, he says dreamily. I thought I could bring you tea in your study, and then I realized I don't know what you like. Oh, I see. Water or wine in the evening, Anna, though maybe I should try tea. His hands move rhythmically down my back, stroking me tenderly. We really know very little about each other, I murmur. I know, he says, and his voice is mournful. I sit up to gaze at him. What is it? I ask. He shakes his head as if to rid himself of some unpleasant thought, and raises his hand. He caresses my cheek. His eyes bright and sweet. I love you, Anna, still, he says. The alarm goes off with the 6 a.m. traffic report, and I'm really awakened from my disturbing dream of overly blonde and dark-haired women. I can't grasp what it's about, and I'm immediately distracted because Christian Grey is wrapped around me like silk, his unruly haired head on my chest, his hands on my breast, his legs over me, holding me down. He's still asleep, and I am too warm. But I ignore my discomfort, tentatively reaching up to run my fingers through his hair, and he stirs. Raising his bright gray eyes, he grins sheepishly. Oh my, he's adorable. Good morning, beautiful, he says. Good morning, beautiful yourself, I smile back at him. He kisses me, disentangles himself, and leans up on his elbow, staring down at me. Sleep okay, he asks. Yes, despite the interruption to my sleep last night. His grin broadens. You can interrupt me like that any time. He kisses me again. How about you? Did you sleep well? I always sleep well with you, Anastasia. No more nightmares? No. I frown and chance a question. What are your nightmares about? His brow creases and his grin fades. Shit, my stupid curiosity. They're flashbacks of my early childhood, or so Dr. Flynn says, some vivid, some less so. His voice drops and a distant herald look crosses his face. Absent-mindedly, he begins to trace my collarbone with his finger, distracting me. Do you wake up crying and screaming? I try in vain to joke. He looks at me puzzled. No. Anastasia, I've never cried. As far as I can remember. He frowns as if reaching into the depths of memory. Oh no, that's a too dark place to go at this hour, surely. Do you have any happy memories of your childhood? I quickly, mainly to distract him. He looks pensive for a moment, still running his finger along my skin. I recall the crack whore baking. I remember the smell. A birthday cake, I think, for me. And then there's Mia's arrival with my mom and dad. My mom was worried about my reaction, but I adored baby Mia immediately. My first word was Mia. I remember my first piano lesson. Miss Kathy, my tutor, was awesome. She kept horses, too. He smiles wistfully. You said your mom saved you. How? His reverie is broken. He gazes at me, and as if I don't understand the elementary math of 2 plus 2. She adopted me, he said simply. I thought she was an angel when I first met her. She was dressed in white and so gentle and calm as she examined me. I'll never forget that. If she had said no, or Carrick had said no, he shrugs and glances over his shoulder at the alarm clock. This is all a little too deep for so early in the morning, he mutters. I have made a vow to get to know you better. Did you now, Miss Steele? I thought you wanted to know if I preferred coffee or tea. He smirks. Anyway, I can think of one way you can get to know me. He pushes his hips suggestively against me. I think you know me quite well enough that way. His voice is haughty and scolding and makes me smile more broadly. I don't think I'll ever get to know you well enough that way, he murmurs. There are definite advantages to waking up beside you. His voice is soft and bone-meltingly seductive. Do you have to get up? My voice is low and husky. Oh, what he does to me. Not this morning. Only one place I want to be right now, Miss Steele, and his eyes sparkle salaciously. Christian. I gasp, shocked. He shifts suddenly till he's on top of me, pressing me into the bed. Grabbing my hands, he puts them above my head and begins to kiss my throat. Oh, Miss Steele. His smile against my skin, sending delicious tingles through me, as his hands travel down my body and start to slowly hitch up my satin nightdress. Oh, what I'd like to do to you, he murmurs. And I'm lost. Interrogation over. Mrs. Jones sets down my breakfast of pancakes and bacon, and for Christian an omelet and bacon. We sit side by side at the bar in comfortable silence. When am I going to meet your trainer, Claude, and put him through when am I going to meet your trainer, Claude, and put him through his paces? I asked, Christian glancing down at me, grinning. Depends if you want to go to New York this weekend or not, unless you'd like to see him early one morning this week. I'll ask Andrea to check his schedule and come back to you. Andrea? My PA. Oh, yes, one of your many blondes, I tease him. She's not mine. She works for me. You're mine. I work for you? I muttered sourly. He grins as if he's forgotten. So you do. His beaming smile is infectious. Maybe Claude can teach me to kickbox, I warn. Oh, yeah? To improve your odds against me? Christian raises an eyebrow, amused. Bring it on, Miss Steele. He's so damn happy compared to yesterday's foul move with Elena. It's totally disarming. Maybe it's all the sex. Perhaps that's what's making him so buoyant. I glance behind me at the piano, savoring the memory of last night. You put the lid of the piano back up. I closed it last night so as not to disturb you. Guess it didn't work, but I'm glad it didn't. Christian's lips twitch into a lascivious smile as he takes a bite of omelet. Sorry, I turned the page too fast. Oh. Takes a bite of omelet. I go crimson and smirk back at him. Oh yes, fun times on the piano. Mrs. Jones leans over and places the paperback containing my lunch in front of me, making me flush guiltily. For later, Anna. Suna okay? Oh yes, thank you, Mrs. Jones. I give her a shy smile while she reciprocates warmly before leaving the guest freight room. I suspect this is to give us privacy. Can I ask you something? I turn back to Christian. His amused smile slips. Of course. And you won't be angry? Is it about Elena? No. Then I won't be angry. But now I have a supplementary question. Oh? Which is about her. He rolls his eyes. What, he says, and now he's exasperated. Why did you get so mad when I asked you about her? Honestly? I scowled at him. I thought you were always honest with me. I endeavor to be. I narrow my eyes at him. That sounds like a very evasive answer. I'm always honest with you, Anna. I don't want to play games. Well, not those sort of games, he qualifies as his eyes heat. What sort of games do you want to play? He inclines his head to one side and smirks at me. Miss Steele, you are so easily distracted. I giggle. He's right. Mr. Gray, you are distracting on so many levels. I gaze at his dancing eyes, alight with humor. My favorite sound in the whole world is your giggle, Anastasia. Now, what was your original question? He asked smoothly, and I think he's laughing at me. I try to twist my mouth to show my displeasure, but I like Playful 50. He's fun. I love some early morning banter. I frown trying to recall my question. Oh, yes. You only saw your subs on the weekends? Yes, that's correct, he says, regarding me nervously. I grin at him. So no sex during the week? He laughs. Oh, that's where we're going with this. He looks vaguely relieved. Why do you think I work out every day? Now he was really laughing at me, but I don't care. I want to hug myself with glee. Another first. Well, several first. You look very pleased with yourself, Miss Steele. I am, Mr. Gray. You should be, he grins. Now eat your breakfast. Oh, bossy 50. He's never far away. We are in the back of the Audi. Taylor is driving me with the intention of dropping me off at work, then Christian. Sawyer is riding shotgun. Didn't you say your roommate's brother was arriving today? Christian asked almost casually, his voice and expression giving nothing away. Oh, Ethan, I gasped. I forgot. Oh, Christian, thank you for reminding me. I'll have to get back to the apartment. His face falls. What time? I'm not sure what time he's arriving. I don't want you to go anywhere on your own, he says sharply. I know, I mutter and resist rolling my eyes at Mr. Overreaction. Will Sawyer be spying, patrolling today? I glance slyly in Sawyer's direction to see if he backs and see the backs of his ears turn red. Yes, Christian snaps, his eyes glacial. If I were driving the Saab, it would be easier, I muttered petulantly. Sawyer will have a car, and he can drive you to your apartment, depending on what time. Okay, I think Ethan will probably contact me during the day. I'll let you know what the plans are. He gazed at me, saying nothing. Oh, what is he thinking? Okay, he acquiesces. Nowhere on your own. Do you understand? He waves a finger at me. Yes, dear, I mutter. There's a trace of smile on his face. Anna? Maybe you should just use your BlackBerry? I'll email you on it. That should prevent my IT guy having a thoroughly interesting morning, okay? His voice is sardonic. Yes, Christian. I can't resist. I roll my eyes, and he smirks at me. Why, Miss Steele, I do believe you're making my palm twitch. Ah, Mr. Gray, your perpetually twitching palm. What are we going to do about that? He laughs and is distracted by his BlackBerry, which must be on vibrate, because it didn't ring. He frowns when he sees the caller ID. What is it? He snaps into the phone, then listens intently. I use this opportunity to study his lovely features, his straight nose, his hair hanging scruffily over his forehead. I am distracted from my surreptitious ogling by his expression, which turns from incredulousness to amusement. I pay attention. You're kidding. For a scene? When did he tell you this? Christian chuckles almost reluctantly. Don't worry. You don't have to apologize. I'm glad there's a logical explanation. It did seem a ridiculous low amount of money. I have no doubt you've something evil and creative planned for your revenge. Poor Isaac. He smiles. Good. Goodbye. He snaps the phone shut and glances at me. His eyes are suddenly wary, but oddly he looks relieved too. Who was that? I ask. You really want to know? He asked quietly. With that response, I know. I shake my head and stare out the window at the gray Seattle day, feeling forlorn. Why can't she leave him alone? Hey! He reaches for my hand and kisses each of my knuckles in turn, and suddenly he's sucking my little finger, then biting it softly. Whoa! He has a hotline to my groin. I gasp and glance nervously at Taylor and Sawyer, then at Christian, and his eyes are darker. He gives me a slow, carnal smile. Don't sweat it, Anastasia, he murmurs. She's in the past. And he plants a kiss on the center of my palm, sending tingles everywhere, and my momentary pique is forgotten. Morning, Anna, Jack mutters as I make my way to my desk. Nice dress. I flush. The dress is part of my new wardrobe, courtesy of my incredibly rich boyfriend. It's a sleeveless shift dress of pale blue linen, quite fitted, and I'm wearing cream, high-heeled sandals. Christian likes heels, I think. I smile secretly at the thought, but quickly recover my bland professional expression for my boss. Good morning, Jack. I set about ordering a messenger to take his brochure to the printers. He pops his head around his office door. Could I have coffee, please, Anna? Sure. I wander in the kitchen and bump into Claire from reception, who's also fixing coffee. Hey, Anna, she says cheerfully. Hi, Claire. We chat briefly about her extended family gathering over the weekend, which she enjoyed immensely, and I tell her about sailing with Christian. Your boyfriend is so dreamy, Anna, she says, her eyes glazing over. I am tempted to roll my eyes at her. He's not bad looking. I smile and we both start laughing. You took your time, Jack snaps when I bring the coffee in his office. Oh, I'm sorry. I flush, then frown. I took the usual amount of time. What's his problem? Perhaps he's nervous about something. He shakes his head. Sorry, Anna. I didn't mean to bark at you, honey. Honey? There's something going on at senior management level, and I don't know what it is. Keep your ear to the ground, okay? If you hear anything, I know how you girls talk. He grins at me, and I feel slightly sick. He has no idea how we girls talk. Besides, I know what's happening. You let me know, right? Sure, I mutter. I sent the brochures to the printers. It'll be back by 2 o'clock. Great. Here. He hands me a pile of manuscripts. All these need synopsises of the first chapter, then filing. I'll get on it. I'm relieved to step out of his office and sit down at my desk. Oh, it's hard being in the know. What will he do when he finds out? My blood runs cold. Something tells me Jack will be annoyed. I glance at my BlackBerry and smile. There's an email from Christian. From Christian Grey. Subject, sunrise. To Anastasia Steele. I love waking up with you in the morning. Christian Grey, completely and utterly smitten, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holding Incorporated. I think my face splits in two with my grin. From Anastasia Steele. Subject, sundown. To Christian Grey. Dear, completely and utterly smitten. I love waking up with you too. But I love being in bed with you, and in elevators, and on the pianos, and on billiard tables, boats and desks, and showers and bathtubs, and strange wooden crosses with shackles, and four-poster beds with red satin sheets, and boathouses, and childhood bedrooms. Yours, sex-mad and insatiable, Anna. From Christian Grey. Subject, wet hardware. To Anastasia Steele. Dear sex-mad and insatiable. I've just spat coffee all over my keyboard. I don't think that's ever happened to me before. I do admire a woman who concentrates on her geography. Am I to infer you just want me for my body? Christian Grey, completely and utterly shocked, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc. From Anastasia Steele, giggling, and wet, too, to Christian Grey. Dear, completely and utterly shocked, always. I have work to do. Stop bothering me. Anna. From Christian Grey. Subject, do I have to? To Anastasia Steele. Dear S.M. and I. As ever, your wish is my command. Love that you're giggling and wet. Laters, baby. Christian. Completely and utterly smitten, shocked, and spellbound. CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Inc. I put the BlackBerry down and get on my work. At lunchtime, Jack asked me to go down to the deli for him. I call Christian as soon as I leave Jack's office. Anastasia, he answers immediately, his voice warm and caressing. How is it this man can make me melt just over the phone? Christian, Jack has asked me to get his lunch. Lazy bastard, Christian gripes. I ignore him and continue. So I'm going to get it. It might be handy if you give me Sawyer's number so I don't have to bother you. It's no bother, baby. Are you on your own? No, there are 6 people staring at me right now wondering who the hell I'm talking to. Shit. Really? I gasped, panicked. Yes, really. My girlfriend, he announced away from the phone. Holy cow. They all probably thought you were gay, you know. He laughs. Yeah, probably. I hear his grin. I'd better go. I'm sure he can tell how embarrassed I am to be interrupting him. I'll let Sawyer know, he laughs again. Have you heard from your friend? Not yet. You'll be first to know, Mr. Grey. Good. Laters, baby. Bye, Christian. I grin. Every time he says that, it makes me smile. So un-50, but somehow so him, too. When I exit seconds later, Sawyer is waiting on the doorstep of the building. Miss Steele, he says. He greets me formally. Sawyer, I nod in response, and together we head down to the deli. I don't feel as comfortable with Sawyer as I do with Taylor. He keeps scanning the street as we make our way along the block. It actually makes me more nervous, and I find myself mirroring his actions. Is Layla out there? Or are we all infected by Christian's paranoia? Is this part of his 50 Shades? What I'd give for half an hour of candid discussion with Dr. Flynn to find out. There's nothing amiss, just lunchtime Seattle people, rushing for lunch, shopping, meeting friends. I watch 2 young women hug as they meet up. I miss Kate. It's only been 2 weeks since she left for her vacation, but it feels like the longest 2 weeks of my life. So much has happened, she'll never believe it when I tell her. Well, tell her the edited NDA compliant version, I frown. I'll have to talk to Christian about that. What would Kate make of it? I blanch at the thought. Perhaps she's back with Ethan. I feel a rush of excitement at the thought but thinking it's unlikely. I should probably stay on with Elliot. Where do you stand when you're waiting and watching outside? I ask Sawyer as we get in line for lunch. Sawyer is in front of me, facing the door, continually monitoring the street and anyone who comes in. It's unnerving. I sit in the coffee shop directly across the street, Miss Steele. Doesn't it get very boring? Not to me, ma'am. It's what I do, he says stiffly. I flush. Sorry, I didn't mean to imply. My voice trails off at this kind, understanding expression. Please, Miss Steele. My job is to protect you, and that's what I'll do. No sign of Layla? No, ma'am. I frown. How do you know what she looks like? I've seen her photograph. Oh, do you have it on you? No, ma'am. He taps his skull. Committed to memory. Of course I would like to examine a photograph of Layla to see what she looked like before she became Ghost Girl. I wonder if Christian would let me have a copy. Yes, he probably would for my safety. I hatch a plan, and my subconscious gloats and nods approvingly. The brochures arrive back at the office, and to my relief, they look great. I take one into Jack's office. His eyes light up. I don't know if it's me or the brochure. I choose to believe it's the latter. These look great, Anna. Idly he flicks through it. Yeah, good job. Are you seeing your boyfriend this evening? His lips curl as he says boyfriend. Yes, we live together. It was sort of the truth. Well, we do at the moment. And I have officially agreed to move in, so it's not much of a white lie. I hope that it's enough to throw him off the scent. Would he object to you coming out for a drink tonight? To celebrate all our hard work? I have a friend coming in from out of town tonight, and we're all going for dinner. I'll be busy every night, Jack. I see, he sighs, exasperated. Maybe when I'm back from New York, He raises his eyebrows in expectation, and his gaze darkens suggestively. Oh no. I smile noncommittal, stifling a shudder. Would you like some coffee or tea, I ask. Coffee, please. His voice is low and husky as he asks for something else. Fuck. He's not going to back off. I can see that now. What do I do? I breathe a long sigh of relief when I'm out of his office. It makes me tense. Christian is right about him, and part of me is pissed that Christian is right about him. I sit down at my desk, and my BlackBerry rings a number I don't recognize. Anna Steele? Hi, Steele. Ethan drawls, catches me momentarily off guard. Ethan, how are you? I almost squeal with delight. Glad to be back. I'm seriously fed up with sunshine and rum punches and my baby sister being hopelessly in love with that big guy. It's been hell, Anna. Yeah. Sea, sand, sun, and rum punches. Sounds like Dante's Inferno. I giggle. Where are you? I'm at SeaTac waiting for my bag. What are you doing? I'm at work. Yes, I'm gainfully employed, I respond to his gasp. Do you want to come here and collect the keys? I can meet you later at the apartment. Sounds great. I'll see you in about 45 minutes or an hour, maybe. What's the address? I give him Sip's address. See you soon, Ethan. Laters, he says, and hangs up. What? Not Ethan, too. And it dawns on me that he's just spent a week with Elliot. I quickly type an email to Christian. From Anastasia Steele, subject, visitors from sunny climates. To Christian Grey. Dearest, completely and utterly SS&S. Ethan is back, and he's coming here to collect the keys to the apartment. I'd really like to make sure he's settled in, okay? Why don't you pick me up after work? We can go to the apartment, then we can all go out for a meal together. My treat. Yours, Anna. Anastasia Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde. Sip. From Christian Grey, subject, dinner out. To Anastasia Steele, I approve of your plan, except the part about you paying. My treat. I'll pick you up at 6. X. P.S. Why aren't you using your BlackBerry? Christian Grey, completely and utterly annoyed, CEO, Chris Grey Enterprises Holdings, Incorporated. From Anastasia Steele, subject, bossiness. To Christian Grey. Oh, don't be so crusty and cross. It's all in code. I'll see you at 6. Anna. Anna Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde, editor, SIP. From Christian Grey, maddening woman. To Anastasia Steele. Crusty and cross? I'll give you crusty and cross, and I look forward to it. Christian Grey, completely and utterly more annoyed, but smiling for some unknown reason, CEO, Grey Enterprises Holdings, Incorporated. From Anastasia Steele. Subject, promises, promises. To Christian Grey, bring it on, Mr. Grey. I look forward to it, too. Anna. Anastasia Steele, assistant to Jack Hyde, SIP. He doesn't reply, but then I don't expect him to. I imagine him moaning about mixed signals, and the thought makes me smile. I daydream briefly about what he might do to me, but find myself shifting about in my chair. My subconscious gazes at me disapprovingly over her half-moon specs. Get on with your work. A little later, my phone buzzes. It's Claire at reception. There's a real cute guy in reception to see you. We must go out for a few drinks sometimes, Anna. You sure know a lot of hunky guys, she hisses through the phone. Ethan! Grabbing my keys from my purse, I hurry out to the foyer. Holy shit. Sun-bleached blonde hair, a tan to die for, and glowing hazel eyes gaze up at me from the green leather couch. As soon as he sees me, his mouth drops open, and he's on his feet coming toward me. Wow, Anna. He frowns at me as he bends to give me a hug. You look well. I grin up at him. You look, wow, differently, worldly, more sophisticated. What's happened? You changed your hair, clothes. I don't know, Steele, but you look hot. I blush furiously. Oh, Ethan, I'm just in my work clothes. I scold as Claire looks on with an arched eyebrow and a wry smile. How was Barbados? Fun, he says. When's Kate coming back? She and Elliot are flying back Friday. They're pretty damn serious about each other. Ethan rolls his eyes. I've missed her. Yeah. How have you been doing with Mr. Mogul? Mr. Mogul? I snicker. Well, it's been interesting. He's taking us out for dinner this evening. Cool. Ethan seems genuinely pleased. Phew. Here, I hand him the keys. You have the address? Yay. Yeah. Laters. He leans over and kisses my cheek. Elliot's expression? Yeah. Kind of grows on you. It does. Laters. I smile at him as he picks up his large, over-the-shoulder bag from beside the green couch and exits the building. When I turn, Jack is watching me from the far side of the foyer, his expression unreadable. I smile brightly at him and head back to my desk, feeling his eyes on me the whole time. This is getting to get on my nerves. What to do? I have no idea. I'll have to wait until Kate is back. She's bound to come up with a plan. The thought dispels my bleak mood, and I pick up the next manuscript. At 5 to 6, my phone buzzes. It's Christian. Crusty and cross here, he says, and I grin. He's still my playful 50. My inner goddess is clapping her hands with glee like a small child. Well, this is sex-mad and insatiable. I take it you're outside, I asked dryly. I am indeed, Miss Steele. I'm looking forward to seeing you. His voice is warm and seductive, and my heart flutters wildly. Ditto, Mr. Gray. I'll be right out. I hang up. I switch off my computer and gather up my purse and cream cardigan. I'm off now, Jack. I call through the door. Okay, Anna. Thanks for today. Have a great evening. You too. Why can't he be like that all the time? I don't understand him. The Audi is parked at the curb, and Christian climbs out as I approach. He's taken off his jacket, and he's wearing his gray pants, my favorite ones that hang from his hips, in that way. How can this Greek god be meant for me? I find myself grinning like a loon in answer to his own idiotic grin. He spent the whole day acting like a boyfriend in love with me. This adorable, complex, flawed man is in love with me, and I with him. Joy bursts unexpectedly inside of me, and I savor the moment as I feel briefly that I could conquer the world. Miss Steele, you look captivating as you did this morning. Christian pulls me into his arms and kisses me soundly. Mr. Gray, so do you. Let's go get your friend. He smiles down at me and opens the car door. As Taylor heads to the apartment, Christian fills me on his day, a much better one than yesterday, it seems. I gaze at him adoringly as he attempts to explain some breakthrough the environmental science department at WSU in Vancouver has made. His words mean very little to me, but I'm captivated by his passion and interest in the subject. Maybe this is what it would be like. It would be like good days and bad days, and the good days are like this. I won't have much to complain about. He hands me a sheet of paper. These are the times that Claude is free. He says, "Oh, the trainer." As we pull up to my apartment building, he fishes his BlackBerry from his apartment. "Gray," he answers. "Roz, what is it?" He listens intently, and I can tell it's an involved conversation. "I'll go and get Ethan. It'll be 2 minutes." I mouth at Christian, and he holds up 2 fingers. He nods, obviously distracted by the call. Taylor opens my door, smiling at me warmly. I grin at him. Even Taylor's feeling it. I press the entry phone and shout happily into it. "Hi, Ethan. It's me. Let me in." The door buzzes, and I head upstairs to the apartment. It occurs to me that I have not been there since Saturday morning. That seems so long ago. Ethan has kindly left the front door open. I step into the apartment, and I don't know why, but I freeze instinctively as soon as I step inside. I take a moment to realize it's because the pale, wan figure standing by the kitchen island is holding a small revolver, is Layla. She's gazing at me impassively. And that is the end of chapter 12. So we'll see what Layla does. And a teaser for chapter 13, the second word in chapter 13 is fuck. So you're right, she is getting a little bit, her language is getting a little bit blue, I guess they call it. So thanks for listening, and I'll read chapter 13 for you tomorrow. Bye, Marcella.